It's 6:30. I'd like to call to order the regular Charter Township Board of Trustees regular meeting for Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. Let's all please rise and pay respects to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Noting of the roll.
Noted.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions on the consent agenda? Hearing none. Roll call.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Ondat.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, and Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item number 6, public comment on items not on the agenda. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 7.
I move to enter into closed session for the purpose of discussion about the negotiation of a successor collective bargaining agreement with International Association of Firefighters, Local 4763, pursuant to MCL 15.268C and MCL 15.268H, to include the Township Board, Recording Secretary Richter, Executive Assistant Smith, Attorneys Oland and Brittany, and Fire Chief Majestic. Forgot Brittany's last name.
Very good. I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Roll call.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Ondat.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go into closed session to discuss the International Association of Firefighters. All right, we're back in session. Item number 8. What's that? Oh, here comes the rest of them. About time. Okay, now that we're back in open session. Item number 8, Board of Trustees comments. I'm going to start first by welcoming Trustee Jeffrey Ambet and Trustee David Wagner, both joining us for their first Township Board meeting. And I know that both of you have been in the office several times, asking good, solid questions, getting copies of the Red Book, working with Danielle to get electronic things. I know, David, you've had some concerns with searching files. Danielle's working on that, but welcome to this board. Secondly, I'm working with Attorney Ellis on the 2025 through 2027 revised sheriff contracting. The commission has raised the cost of doing service to the town. It affects this township about $500,000. Okay, I have been down there battling with other supervisors from the 12 represented townships that utilize the Oakland County Sheriff's Office services. It's not the sheriff office that's raising the rate. The county commission sets the rate based on what cost of that service is. They are not allowed to make a profit on it. So they are stating that their costs have gone up and they've not been charging it all these years. So this year we're going to be about a 15% increase in our sheriff contracting services. Secondly, the SRO, the school resource officer's contract with the school is increased. However, it's also added a $1 per pupil charge so that they can take this money at the commission level and spend it on something else. We are vehemently, adamantly, in fact, they were even on Channel 7 tonight from Lyon Township discussing these increase in police services. We are gonna have to bite the bullet, so to speak. We have allocated the funds for it in our 2025 budget. We're a very fortunate community that we are ahead of the game by going out for our millage prior to this increase, and we took this increase into consideration to protect the fiduciary responsibilities of this community. We will be covered. However, we are still contracting for the sheriff with the school, and with that contract, they're asking for monies that would be used outside of the district. I'm working with several supervisors and our attorney to pen a letter to state that it's now the county commission's job to go to our school and contract with them for SROs. Because we are being asked to charge our school district more money for a service that will not be utilized in this community. And on principle alone, it's sad. When I mention this in front of the commissioners, it's too bad. Tough. Lay somebody off. That's the way that these county commissioners are treating the 12 represented communities. So, more to come at our January meeting. We'll have the new sheriff contract. Whether we want to add, subtract, or go into negotiations, Dr. Milligan, I've already told her and talked to her about this. Attorney Allison and I are going to meet with them and discuss the road that we're going to go down, but look for that in the January meeting. Secondly, I want to thank Sarah Davis, CJ Carnacchio, Danielle Smith for taking the initiative to fold, print, get the envelopes for mailing of the sewer increase letter. They did that on their own because it had to be done. It was late in getting done, but they got it done today. Now we're waiting on Treasurer Ferrari to get the envelope or the labels. CJ will have some National Honor Society students volunteer their time up here to stuff envelopes, so we're working on all that. That's my comment, and I'm going to start with Trustee Umbet.
All right, well, I just wanted to say thank you to the township employees and to the board members for helping me on board. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to serving the community, and to all the folks who got out and voted for me. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be a part of this.
Clerk Wright, speak into your mic.
No comment at this time.
Okay. Treasurer Ferrari?
The labels are almost done. I'll give you another batch in on Friday. They should be able to finish all them up. We're probably about 80% done with printing the labels. I'd like to thank my staff too, Sarah Davis and Tracy Devereaux, for being on top of their jobs. So far to date, for all the township funds for 2024, we've earned over $1.7 million in interest. That's along because we're able to deposit, get things in the bank, and able to transfer over to our investment pool to garner as much money for the township as we can. That's all I have.
Trustee Colvin?
Nothing at this time?
Trustee Charles?
Question for Supervisor Curtis in reference to comments about the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Are you communicating with the communities that are represented by the commissioners who voted for this?
Debacle? Yes.
Debacle, a good word. That's a great word.
We have the 12 communities all lined up. Several of the communities utilize the same attorney, so we are working on a united front. We're meeting with our Oakland County Sheriff's Deputies Union on December 19th to go through all of this. all of our county commissioners, Commissioner Spiz, who represents us, has voiced his disdain with it. We've had heated arguments in the hall with several of those represented communities in front of reporters, and to no avail. That county commission is run unprofessional, rude. They waited until after an election to throw this on the table. They waited until after everybody had their budgets in place. We have communities that have a $1.2 million shortfall. And with my relationship with the finance manager from the sheriff, I got real close in our budget. And we went on the August primary. And we covered ourselves for 2025. Other communities were busy doing other things and their commission didn't talk about it. Our commissioner did. We took action and we avoided crashing and burning on our police services.
And just a final point on that and move on, but the commissioners who represent communities that aren't participating in this group of 12, is there any conversation with those folks that might turn those commissioners around?
Well, it's led by one of them, and there is no turning him around, because he, even in caucus, makes rude, unprofessional statements that get some of us thrown out of the room when talked about it. We had one supervisor asked to leave because called him out on a blatant lie. And it's disgusting that at this late minute, not even the county executive understands what's going on. I've been in constant contact with the sheriff, and they don't know what to do. They're at odds. We're going at this from the deputies union, the command union. We're going with the commissioners. All the represented communities are standing together. The city of Pontiac is represented by Oakland County Sheriff. They have some kind of grease skids from the county to offset over $1 million in monies they don't have. So, you know, it's all politics. It's all steered by Commission Chair Woodward, and the benefits that he receives from Oakland County Sheriff's Department were brought up. There seems to be no care other than you will pay.
It sounds like it was.
Any other questions, comments? Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, Supervisor Curtis, for your opening comments, greatly appreciated. And for everyone else, thank you all. I am extremely humbled and honored to have been elected as an Oxford Township trustee. I'm very excited and ready to serve our community, and I look forward to the challenges. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. All right, moving on, item number 9, second reading, 9A, zoning ordinance 67A.035, Article 2, text amendments, and the addition of section 8.13 regarding electric vehicles.
I move to approve the second reading, Oxford Township zoning ordinance 67A.035, related to electric vehicles and electric vehicle charging stations. The township, I direct the township clerk to publish said ordinance in accordance with state law.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Allenby.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 9B, zoning ordinance 67A.036, text amendments to Article 18 and to add section 18.6 and section 18.7 to establish criteria, zoning ordinance, text amendments, and zoning map amendments.
I move to approve the second reading of the Oxford Township zoning ordinance 67A.036, related to the approval process for zoning ordinance text and zoning map amendments, and direct the township clerk to publish said ordinance in accordance with state law.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Alvin,
Yes.
and Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 10A, Fire Department. Consideration of successor collective bargaining agreement between the Oxford Township Fire Department and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 4763.
I move to approve the collective bargaining agreement between Oxford Fire Department and the International Association of Firefighters, Local 4763, effective January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2028. I authorize the supervisor and fire chief to execute the same.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Charles. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Alvin,
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
If I may for a second?
Yes.
Since we're on this issue, obviously, I would first and foremost, I'd like to thank Treasurer Ferrari, former Trustee Payne, Supervisor Curtis, for your role in helping us get this done. And most of all, Attorney Olin for all the hard work and effort that she put in on this, along with myself and Chief Esper to get this done in what we believe is a very good agreement for both the union and for the department and for the township. As you know, we did make it, we started this in the summer and met quite frequently and then got into, we weren't at impasse, but we were definitely, you know, I don't want to call it impasse, it was
At a later
differing opinions, right? But I will say that we entered into mediation before the Thanksgiving holiday and we went marathon. We started in our office at 9 o'clock in the morning and we were walking out just before midnight, both parties. And we sat there together, well, separately, but yet together, and worked through it. And we were able to then, that night, we kind of all said, I've had enough. We're seeing squirrely. We had to call it a night after such a long day. And then we met again the following day, finalized the deal, and then came together with the union. And I was extremely happy at how well we worked together that second day to finalize language and clear things up and work together with the union. And they worked with us and they compromised with us and we compromised with them to get the deal done. And I just want to thank everybody for the role and thank the union for the role that they took in being professional in the manner in which they did this. And I'm glad to see it's over with and we're done with it for at least 4 years. So,
Thanks, Chief.
Anyhow, thank you again.
Thank you. All right. Anything else for the fire department? Seeing none. Item number 11, Sharp Engineering Report. Board members, in your packet was a Sharp Engineering Report giving a status of all projects in the township. If you have any questions for Engineer Sharp at this time, I'd entertain them. Pretty consistent list and very explainable. Any questions? Moving on. Item 12, unfinished business. Clerk Wright. Item 12A, American Rescue Plan Act funding agreement with Pollyant Trailway Management Council. Clerk Wright.
Yes, the ARPA committee, the last time we met, recommended some funding to be reallocated from the Brad Dewey subdivision sanitary sewer project to some other funds, and the Pollyant Trailway Management Council was one of those that were approved by the board to receive funding. And Attorney Ellis has created the agreement in front of you tonight for consideration of approval to contract with the Pollyant Trailway Management Council to use ARPA funding for improvements that are attached as an exhibit to the agreement.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement between the Charter Township of Oxford and the Pollyant Trailway Management Council, Inc. The obligation of $79,329.02 in ARPA funds for designated improvements of the Pollyant Trail and authorize the township supervisor to execute the agreement.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. I have a question. Are these allocated funds under contract?
My understanding with the attorney for the Pollyant Trail is that the contract is between the township and the Pollyant Trail, not the Pollyant Trail and subcontractors. So my understanding is that this agreement satisfies the ability to use the ARPA funding.
Okay, because the law changed, effective December 31st of 2024, the funds allocated under ARPA have to be under contract for work to be completed by 2026, but they must be under contract. So my concern is, by allocating these funds to the Polly Ann Trail, I want the Polly Ann Trail to have these funds under contract. And I don't wanna lose $79,000. So,
Yeah.
Attorney Ellis.
So just to clarify, all of your ARPA funds have to be obligated by the end of the year. We've received guidance that being obligated is more than just budgeting that amount. You actually have to have that amount under contract. So by approving this contract tonight, you will have allocated those funds for the improvements to the trailway.
Where do I transfer those funds then, if this motion passes?
Correct,
So I transfer the 79,000 from general to Polly and Trail.
correct.
Thank you.
Yes. Any
That
other
satisfies
questions?
it.
Yeah.
And that satisfies it.
That's what.
Yes.
Correct, okay.
That satisfies your obligation, yeah.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Yonda?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 13 is new business, and we're gonna go through the 2024 final budget amendments. Thank you, Danielle and Treasurer Ferrari and Clerk Wright. Marathon moved through going through these amendments, so.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for General Fund 101, with the revenues and expenditures balancing at $4,689,188. Attach a spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Yonda?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for the Road Fund 204, with revenues and expenditures balancing at $372,904. Attach a spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Yonda?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for Fire Fund 206, with revenues and expenditures balancing at $6,522,971.27. Attach a spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Yonda?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for the police contracting, for the Police Fund 207, with the revenues and expenditures balancing at $4,364,526. Attached to the spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, and I have a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Yonda?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for the Parks and Recreation Fund 208, with revenues and expenditures balancing at $2,194,000. Attach a spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Just a question for clarification, I guess I'll call it on page, let's see here, 272. I just, like I said, for clarification, I see some, maybe, oops, it goes my computer. Maybe Mr. Ferrari can explain this. Looking at the, it says the revenue for select soccer league, that's 208,000,651,637, kind of upper third of the page there. Why is there such a big discrepancy between 100,000 and 218? And that, this, just for clarification, just.
One more time, Rhett, 651.
It's, let's see here. 651637, correct.
I do not know. I'm thinking maybe they ran a couple more leagues. That's more of a Mr. Castoni thing. But I'm thinking that's what it could be, but I'm not 100% sure.
Anybody else have a guess on that?
No.
That's just the best guess.
I mean, it just seems such a,
That's increased revenue? Yeah, increased revenue would probably mean that they scheduled 10 and held 15. So you're adding more revenue in that soccer league, if you will.
okay, just curious about.
Any other questions? Roll call?
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes,
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for Cemetery Maintenance Fund 209 with revenues and expenditures balanced at 219,001.00. Attached to spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call?
Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
yes,
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for Telecommunications Fund 239 with revenues and expenditures balancing at 47,247. Attached to spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call?
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
yes,
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for Building Department Fund 249 with revenues and expenditures balancing at 590,900. Attached to spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call?
Trustee Charles.
yes,
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I move to approve the recommended 2024 budget amendments for Safety Path Fund 297 with revenues and expenditures balancing at 662,500. Attached to spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call?
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
yes,
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 budget amendments for Poly and Trailways 298 with revenues and expenditures balancing at 196,118. Attached to spreadsheet as appendix to the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
yes,
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
Guys, did I miss any?
No, we didn't get any from the library, and we
We
did
never
not get any from, the OCTV.
We never do budget amendments for library, and OCTV will be doing, amending 25 budget in January, because when they finalize their 24s after we have to in
Yeah, we
September.
just,
I thought we did cable TV fund.
Right,
Telecommunications.
Telecommunications.
yeah, we did telecom, we didn't do cable.
Cable TV was, did I get the wrong one? Oh, I got an old version. Did I adopt the cable TV?
No.
No, you didn't.
Okay, I wonder why
I
I didn't
didn't
have that.
adopt it. I'm following through because I write down who motions, who seconds.
I move to approve the Charter Township of Oxford 2025 General Appropriations Act as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin on item 13B. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Allen.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
yes,
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Supervisor Curtis.
No. Item 13C, 2025 compensation and salary resolutions. Board members, in your packet, by law, we have to do resolutions for the treasurer, clerk, and supervisor. 13I, salary supervisor resolution.
I move to approve the resolution to establish an annual salary for the Oxford Township Supervisor for fiscal year 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Honor.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes, board members, now we move on to the clerk, resolution for the annual salary.
I move to approve the resolution to establish an annual salary for the Oxford Township Clerk for fiscal year 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Honor.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Now we'll move on to the treasurer's salary.
I move to approve the resolution to establish an annual salary for the Oxford Township Treasurer fiscal year 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Honor.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 13C4, trustee compensation resolution.
I move to approve the resolution to establish annual compensation for the Oxford Township Trustees for fiscal year 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions?
I do.
Yes, sir.
The difference in the amounts, just here again, clarification, like gravel inspection fee.
Okay, gravel inspection fees are paid for by the gravel companies through the planning commission, and the supervisor and the planning commissioner have to be on that. So it's a wash. Whatever we charge them, that's what we pay.
And why the larger dollar amount, is that?
Because normally you're walking around in the cold and the mud, and it takes you a good half a day to do it, to walk around and drive around through the pits.
Is that true with the board of review as well?
No,
That's a pretty large amount there by comparison as well.
yeah, board of review can be anywhere, it's what, from 10 o'clock until 3 o'clock, and you can get,
There's specific set hours for, each board of review.
yeah,
So it's a
meeting
length
throughout
of
the year.
time is what you're
length
referring
of
to?
time
Okay.
and duties of that committee.
You gotta be there.
Yep,
No, just, like I said, point of clarification.
okay, yep. Do I need a roll call on that?
You do.
A roll call, please.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Honor.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item number 13D, Michael Spiz resignation from the Planning Commission. Board members, on November 27th, I received the attached email in your package from Planning Commissioner Michael Spiz. Michael is informing me that he has resigned from the Oxford Township Planning Commission immediately.
I move to accept the resignation of Michael Spiz with regret from the Oxford Township Planning Commission effective immediately.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Charles. Any questions?
Just a comment that I think Mike Spiz has done a great job as our commissioner. I realize the planning commission has a lot of time as well, and I hope, considering our comments about the police issues, I think he's got a full plate.
He has a very full plate missing. He has to attend a lot of meetings. Roll call?
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Honor.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. 13E, board members, committee appointments. Please note, in the planning commission, according to the Zoning Enabling Act, I appoint or recommend for appointment a township planning commissioner. Rather than try and fill that vacancy right now with going out in the community, we have a very fine person who's pulled the wagon in the planning commission in many communities. I've applied him to the committee report under planning commission, and that's John Knoll.
He's also been added to water and sewer.
Yeah, and he's added to water and sewer. But please notice, I did add that to replace Planning Commissioner Spiz as my nomination to the Planning Commission.
I move to approve the Charter of Township of Oxford Committee Commission appointment list as amended by Supervisor Curtis.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Any questions? Roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Ondat,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, and Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Board members, item 13F. I put this on the agenda for one reason. It falls under the procurement policy that I can just go ahead and let our lawn maintenance continue, because for the 3 years, it falls under the $10,000 appropriation. But I wanted to let you know that I am recommending we continue our lawn maintenance with High Hill Service. They've been maintaining the grounds since 2016. Excellent service, excellent service.
I move to approve the ground maintenance contract between High Hill Lawn Service and the Charter Township of Oxford, commencing January 1, 2025, expired December 31st, 2027. Supervisor Jack Curtis is authorized to sign the contract on behalf of the Charter Township of Oxford and High Hill Lawn Service shall provide copies of insurance annually, including the Charter Township of Oxford as additional insured on the insurance policy or the term of the contract.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Do they also maintain the area when you walk into the building here, that circle?
Yes.
Okay. Personally, I think that needs some attention this coming spring. Looks
Make
like
your recommendation to the capital improvement planning team. We can take that into consideration. I'll note it, and I'll talk to you about it later.
Great, okay.
Thank you. Roll call?
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Ondat,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Board members, item 13G, Oxford Township Board meeting schedule for 2025. In your packet are the dates.
I move to approve the Charter Township of Oxford Board of Trustees 2025 regular meeting schedule as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Hearing none. Item number 13H, 2025 holiday schedule. Board members, in your packet, we've allocated the 14 holidays out to equally balance the year out for days off.
I move to approve the Charter Township of Oxford 2025 holiday schedule as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, hearing none. Item 13I, no has. Treasurer Ferrari.
Board members, this is our annual no-has agreements. We have 3 motions here, and I'll start with the first one. I move to approve the 2025 North Oakland County Household Hazardous Waste Interlocal Agreement between Oakland County and the Charter Township of Oxford as presented. Authorize Supervisor Jack Curtis to sign the agreement.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Ondat,
Yes.
and Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I move that the Charter Township of Oxford shall notify Oakland County that will not charge a participation fee per resident. The cost for the participation shall be paid by the Charter Township of Oxford.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin. Board members, I just have a question, comment, and a concern. The reason Oxford Township pays for no-has, some townships charge $15. We found that with not charging, we don't end up with paint cans and tires and all kinds of stuff thrown around our rural community. We still find them, but we minimize our losses. And quite frankly, have we ever spent more than what we allocated or budget for?
No.
So it's a good thing we don't charge for it. Any other questions? Roll call?
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Trustee Ondat,
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
and Supervisor Curtis.
Yes.
I move to approve the North Oakland Hazardous Waste Consortium resolution as presented. Hereby appoint Rod Charles as the official representative for the Charter Township of Oxford to NOHAZ Advisory Board for 2025.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions?
Will I be out walking around during the day?
Just be at the NOHAZ things, and I'll help with the administrative stuff.
Okay, great, thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Roll call?
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Ondat,
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes, Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 13J, cemetery burial fee increases. Clerk Wright.
Yes, our company, Genesee Valley Vault, has indicated the prices will be going up effective on January 1st of 2025. They're raising their rates $50, and we as a township charge an administrative fee, basically $50 higher than that to cover the cost of our services for the openings and closings of burials, whether it's a full body burial or whether it's a remains burial. So if I can pull up the document here. It'll be on page 364.
I move to approve the cemetery fees resolution to amend Appendix A to Chapter 16 Cemeteries of the Oxford Charter Township Code of Ordinances as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Comment?
You see your packet, board members, you see the changes on the resolution in there, so if you have any questions, just get with me in my office and we'll go over those.
Okay, roll call?
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Colvin,
Yes.
Trustee Charles,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari,
Yes.
Trustee Ondat,
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item 13K, setting a first reading of fire department cost recovery ordinance amendments. Board members, we'd like to set a first reading of the cost recovery for the fire department ordinance amendments, scheduled for January 11th? 8th.
You're right.
I move to set the first reading for the Oxford Township Cost Recovery Ordinance for January 8th, 2025. Authorize the clerk to notice in accordance with state law.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't need a roll call, do we?
If you'd like to.
No. We'll just, all those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed, say nay. Hearing none. Oh, I get to do that once in a while. Item 14, items removed from consent agenda. We had none. Item 15, call to the public. Do you have any public that want to make any comments or?
Just real quick, you went so quickly on the cost recovery, I just wanted to send a thank you out to Attorney Ellis for the work she did on helping us get that ordinance, the cost recovery stuff, that we can now seek recovery for things that go bad within the community that are caused by non-tax paying people.
Yep.
People that are not residents or businesses that are not paying here, so that we can at least get some of our monies back when we have to sit on down wires for like 18 hours like we did. Not
Did
that
we ever
long.
get paid for that?
No.
Oh, I can't talk to you.
No, can't talk. Anyhow,
Now you might if you adopt this ordinance.
so anyhow, I wanted to thank Attorney Ellis.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Anybody else? Public comment? Hearing none. Board of Trustees comment. I'm gonna start down there with Mr. Trustee Wagner.
I have no comments.
Okay? Trustee Charles?
No comment.
Trustee Colvin?
I hope everyone has happy holidays and see you next year.
Treasurer Ferrari?
I echo what Trustee Colvin said.
Clerk Wright?
Oh, good, good. I don't have a comment, but I got some items here, so I'm gonna pass them out. Supervisor Curtis, you first.
Oh, certificate of elections,
We got Mr. Ferrari.
Oh, thank you.
Ferrari,
signed by Lisa Brown.
Trustee Charles,
There's no check
Trustee
attached.
Coleman. We'll leave it yours, Trustee Ryder, so I have to walk back.
Thank you.
And Trustee Young.
Where's the check?
Check's on the other side. If you spend over $1,000, you get to put your campaign finance items back to the county.
Anything else, Clerk Wright?
Now, happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy.
And I will echo the
Trustee
same-
Humphrey.
I will echo the same comments. Enjoy the holidays.
All right, I have some.
Uh-oh.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, I'll second that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay and stay here.